All right. Yeah. Sorry. I just have to get everything set up here. Pause. So yeah. Just now I uploaded. I think yes. No, actually, I think yeah. Now I'm confused because I think I recorded these episodes, you know, prior. I already have, by the way, episodes 1 and 2 up. So yeah, this is part 3 of WandaVision, which yeah, episodes 7, 8, and 9, which have often been viewed. I'm gonna say it. This was a well. First off, I'd like to say this was kind of a fun journey, getting to revisit some of, getting to see the Cinema Wins. Lee get to do, analyze this and get to notice some fun details, that I didn't even notice before. Because I've only really seen the series twice. I only saw it like once when they were doing the episodes at weekly, and then once it was all full, I decided to rewatch it all, see if I missed anything. And yeah, I mean, WandaVision for me was a fun ride overall. I know some people were very mixed on 8 and 9. Actually, 9 was where they. I'm gonna say it. I like episodes 8 and 9. Because for me, episodes 8 and 9 felt for me more on an. They resonated with me more on an emotional level. Like I actually teared up watching episodes 8 and 9. And if a TV show can get you to cry, it's done a good job. You know, I just feel like it's some people who often have fan. Here's the thing: I really hate it when people have to listen, but want their fan, and it's not that fans are allowed to have theories. It's just I don't know. I feel like we live way too much in the internet to have fun with anything anymore, and people start to not have fun with anything. Uh, I've been a little bit agitated recently, but yeah, um, Overall, the way I would rank uh the WandaVision episodes, um, I would say from top to bottom, episode 9, episode 8, episode 6, episode 4, episode 2, episode 1, episode 7, episode 5, episode 3. 3, in my opinion, is a bit weaker, but that doesn't mean it was still good. I don't know, I guess I just have a certain tweak where it's like, yeah, we all know. I feel like the whole thing between Monica and Wanda was just not necessary, the mini rivalry. So I kind of hated that aspect of that was probably my least favorite aspect of the show. I didn't want to say anything because, episode 5 is but it's like episode 5 for me is kind of like filler. So it's like when I saw it recently I was like, "All right, skip the boring parts. Plus I don't want to see the dog dying again." Um but yeah, that says a lot about me. So yeah, I have a different preference of episodes. And before we start the video, actually, um, let me just go back here and pause for a second. Sorry, I had to quickly check in on my mom. And if for those who are wondering where the hell are the gloves, here they are. Yeah, sometimes I do wear them, but if they sweat on the inside, yeah, I have a very different body temperature from most people. Yeah, it looks like slowing down the frame was not going to help the frames per second. So yeah, this is CinemaWins. Everything great about WandaVision, episodes 7 through 9. Thank God they're all together. And let's plop up the full screen and this on and give it a go. After this whole damn thing, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, good.
This episode is sponsored by HelloFresh. More on that at the end.
HelloFresh. Yeah, the same sponsorship Doug Walker usually. spoilers for the entire
Other
MCU.
than the babies carrying over from 3 to 5, this feels like the first episode to pick up directly after last week, with Vision gone and Wanda still in her costume. Although it's a little weird to think that she didn't go looking for Vision, but she answers that in very 2010 sitcom language.
Well, if he doesn't want to be here, there's nothing I can do about it. Intentionally expanding the borders
Oh
of the
yeah, the
Elseworld
Modern Family thing. They got the modern. There are many ways you can define the style of this episode here. Um, Sorry, I'm gonna have to talk in my ASMR voice. Yeah, yeah, just like there's always a lot of people will say Parks and Rec, Office. I think this is more Modern Family. Just the intro music was the only thing that I would say is The Office, but I would say overall this is a more Modern Family vibe. And I'm saying that because I've been recently watching a lot of Modern Family, and it's such a funny show. But yeah. I mean, yeah, the interview segments here, sometimes I get reminded of Claire when she's in there. All right, back to the video. Oh, plus yeah, funny reference. Here's a fun little reference. Segueing to the MCU and Modern Family. Ty Burrell, who plays Phil Dunphy on Modern Family, was in Incredible Hulk. Of course, everyone knew that. I heard there was a time where Ty Burrell was actually playing sometimes the movie asshole, but now when he was on Modern Family, he was just like kind of the sort of the nice guy at that point.
created.
That Modern Family lighthearted percussive heavy music while she's trapping more people in her torture box. Hex. Hex for hexagons, like on the blankets. And obviously we've hit the depression stage of grief. It's the most obvious. She can't even get out of bed. Lots and lots of drinks in that fridge, but still no food.
Oh, I don't eat food.
Guess the kids don't either.
It's probably just a case of the Mondays. Am I right?
Yeah, we've all been there before.
No, man. No, man.
Yeah.
I like how fast we slide past the little serial killer cutouts. Also, since Vision isn't around for the A story, it's a Wanda-centric episode. Side note, this might be my favorite of all the theme songs, possibly my love for The Office, though this version is better and also happy endings. A show canceled way before its time. Here's a tweet from 5 years ago to prove
Yeah, Happy Endings. I remember this tweet. Happy Endings was the funniest show. Yeah, there's a lot of good shows that are often canceled. Like, Swamp Thing, for example, was a good show, got canceled, but apparently WB thinks Batwoman is a better show. It proves to you how much Hollywood really does not listen to the audience or fans or anything. Back to the video.
I'm for real. And that's very Modern Family-y. Even if their title sequence is yellow?
Modern Family-esque. Yeah.
Rather than red, but marketing materials red, so.
That is true. Actually, by the way, I'm in my pajamas, don't worry. I have it right here. I actually bought this at a garage sale for like 25 cents. Yeah. Actually, no, this one's more orange. It looks more orange if you look at it.
Even if their title sequence is...
It's orange, not yellowy. Right here it's more red. I just noticed. Yeah, it's more orange. I'd say orange. And reading the subtitle, it should say Modern Family-esque. I actually think this is the intro from season 1. Since I own season 3 on Blu-ray, I'm actually now on season 7. It's interesting. God, Modern Family was such a good show. Yeah.
Yellow rather than red, but marketing materials red, so. You probably...
Orange. It's orange.
I thought it was red. I did. I know this might not track exactly with our understanding of Wanda's passive control in the world, but still, Vision got knocked out when he was outside the Hex in a cinematic 2:3:9 aspect ratio, and now that he's regaining consciousness in our 2010 sitcom, his world expands to 16:9 to follow suit with the rest of Wanda's reality.
We locked eyes. There was a unspoken understanding.
Hard pass.
Who could blame her when she's got this man waiting at home?
I have no answers.
Honesty?
Go with that.
Agnes.
I promise I won't bite.
I actually did bite a kid once.
I can't help but appreciate the collective online response to this joke being, did Agatha actually eat Billy and Tommy? Because comics are messed up and we still haven't figured out how to port them perfectly to maintain their insanity.
Yeah.
So Hayward sent this email on purpose 2 episodes ago just to see if Vision could leave. Poor Vision, everyone's trying to get him to leave.
Major Goodner,
Captain Rambo.
How is she not at least a Skrull? What was this? Everyone thought it would be Reed Richards and we'd get an actual cameo from John Krasinski, which was quite the ask realistically, but instead it was Major Goodner. Cool truck though.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I was saying about theories, is that fans latch on way too much to their own theories, that they, unfortunately, I feel like they forget to have a good time. Granted, I know that's not really saying much, but I feel like that's why I don't try to listen to fan theories. I'm like, oh, that's clickbaity. That's clickbait. That's clickbait. That's clickbait. But, fans will do anything they can just to say, yeah, hey, look, I called it. It's kind of like, spoilers for Falcon Winter Soldier, by the way. Everyone's saying Sharon was the power broker, and it's like, and it's like, I kind of wish, people would Marvel would bring back the hashtags, like, similar to don't spoil. He's like, don't even think about spoiling it, or don't even think about fan theories and stuff. I mean, it's okay if they want to acknowledge fan theories because, I remember there's the one fan theory where the kid in Iron Man 2 that Tony Stark saves is Peter Parker. And apparently they said, yeah, that I don't know if they said yes, it's him. Maybe it was possible. The interesting thing is that the kid in that scene is actually played by Jon Favreau's young son, who I think was his young son at the time there. So yeah, plus like the Fantastic Four movie's already in development now, and I haven't heard any announcements. And given how Marvel is very secretive, Marvel likes to be secretive, and yet fans like, who knows? Maybe we will one day get to see Reed Richards. But as far as it, I don't know. I try not to latch on to theories, and sometimes I try to enjoy the content. Then I'll probably listen to fan theories, though. Fan theories. They irritate some. That then again, there have been times where creators have often not where fans have predicted certain theories that really did end up disappointing, such as myself. Star Wars Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. Actually, just Last Jedi, because Last Jedi is the reason Rise of Skywalker exists.
And just in case you couldn't remember who this guy was, he's the one who wouldn't help her with that heavy equipment, so I think he had it coming.
Do you think maybe this is what you deserve?
Once you know it's Agnes, it seems insane to think you missed her voice the first time, and maybe you didn't, but I did. Either way, making the reveals a little more obvious to some of your audience in the same episode of The Reveal is always something I've liked. Gives you the feeling of getting it before everyone else, but minimizes you spoiling it for everyone else.
You're not supposed to talk.
That is true.
I love the unspoken rule of the silent interviewers behind the fourth wall, especially in Modern Family, which, fun fact, the show was initially set up as a college kids documentary, but that got scrapped and they decided to keep the talking heads portion even though it makes absolutely no sense, and anytime they aren't doing interviews, they barely acknowledge the cameras.
To anchor you back to your reality. Side effects include...
Never thought about that. I just noticed, I just really enjoy the mockumentary style of sitcoms, where it's filmed in a documentary style where you have the camera operator and you're zooming, because shows like Modern Family and mostly Modern Family was captured with zoom lenses, if I'm not mistaken. I've actually seen some behind the scenes on Modern Family on season 3. Yeah, I still have the Blu-ray right here. No, sorry. But yeah, that's the thing, is just the zooming. And plus that is a thing, because whenever, they do the interviews with the questions, whenever they're doing the kind of insert interviews, no one asks questions. That's a thing. So I kind of like that. There's like, what, you're not supposed to talk. It's like, yeah, that is true. You're not never allowed to talk. After this, I'm watching more Modern Family. Nexus side effects.
Feeling your feelings, confronting your truth, seizing your destiny, because the world doesn't revolve around you. Or does it?
The ads have been getting more and more on the nose, and this depression med commercial is perfectly at home in the 2010s.
Possibly more depression.
And it's not even a joke that many drugs carry potentially worse versions of the symptoms they're treating as a symptom, which is just a mind blower.
You're quiet, Agnes. On the inside.
Obviously, since she's blocking his telepathy with her magic, but also because her lines aren't being written by his creator and mom, so her brain really isn't part of this reality. Makes you think, huh?
Damn it, I hate it. It's probably the encoding.
You know, it's sort of a foregone conclusion at this point that costumes will be perfect, vehicles will be real, and that everything you see on screen will have the utmost of care put into it, and I just want to say, I see ya.
Watch out!
I mean, not to mention the visual effects. Well, that's just an awesome scene, and I don't know.
This scene for me was awesome. I don't care what people think. I really love this scene. I think Tiana Paris really did a great job in this. I can't wait to see her in the Marvels. I thought she was really awesome in this. And, given, I know people don't like Captain Marvel as much, but, I really do. Someone's got to at least admit they enjoyed this scene. This scene was awesome, in my opinion.
I don't know how she can't call herself Spectrum here, since we see her split up on a spectrum of her other personalities, although her outfit is perfectly Photon. Finally, a visual I can understand for why I shouldn't grab onto live wires. It's the magenta cyan glowy stuff. Also, Monica's ratio changes as she runs into town.
I came back and died again.
And she had to watch.
And we were also totally just super fine and not traumatized.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing there. It's like, you can kind of understand why Wanda probably created this fake reality. Because to think you have to see your significant other die right in front of you, you have to watch that. That is just so damn harsh right there. That is, damn, there's no getting back from that. Not even therapy can save that. Yeah.
By it at all. Obviously, Wanda had no ill effects, just totally normal popcorn flick stuff. No need for an entire mini-series to give the main character affected closure.
Corporal form.
Bad joke right there. I'm gonna say bad joke.
Plan for global genocide.
Oh, and also it goes all the way back here. Classic way to prove superhero.
I kind of skipped over this because Okay, so I know I really do not like this scene, honestly. Even though she says I already am the villain, but I'd say now Wanda's journey is as an anti-hero because she's now become Scarlet Witch, and so it just kind of, yeah. I don't know. But there's like so much going on here. I forget there's so much going on.
I like that there are no kids seen through the window where they'd be lining up because they're literally appearing out of nowhere. And even though Darcy is aware of the farce, she still falls victim to it. And a clear indication that Wanda is leaving Westview and entering Agatha's reality since the aspect ratio stretches back out to 239.
No, it just shifts down, not really.
Well, now it's all over the place, but I do love those witch boots. What an amazing song.
Yeah.
And not only has she been messing with stuff from the beginning, even been aware of the camera, she also sings her own theme song.
Snooper's gonna snoop.
Pietro's alive. Crazy to think how not.
Pietro is Pietro was already the name, not Fietro. It's already Pietro, fake Pietro. I get the joke.
Not long ago, MCU TV and MCU movies used to be mostly separate. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would make decisions not honored by the movies, and then the movies would do stuff that completely altered the shows. Now it's all one big thing. I'm tough on our new Disney overlords, but I, for one, am pretty stoked on this.
Didn't really care much. I remembered I actually liked Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the first season. The pilot was slow, but then it started to pick up at the end of the first season. with the whole Shield infiltrated with the Hydra thing, and they kind of screwed the pooch over by the end of the second season. And I only ever saw like the first 2 episodes of season 3, so I've not been desperate to go back to it. The only real Marvel show I think I've seen in its entirety is Agent Carter. That was such an awesome show, which I feel is the only one I would ever acknowledge as a part of canon. I feel like Agents of Shield suffers from a bunch of uh, Joss Whedonitis. You know, especially with everything we know now about Joss Whedon being an asshole. No secret.
Ha! And this episode is all Agatha, so we get a purple smoke
Yeah.
magic screen wipe. That's a fun expectation subversion. Oh, right, Salem. So the
Yeah.
magic screen wipe.
Sorry.
That's a fun expectation subversion. Oh, right, Salem. So these normies found a witch, a woman who like
No, technically,
math
it's
or
sort
could
of the
swim or something, and now they're gonna execute. Oh, shoot,
they're
they're
witches.
too.
Yeah.
No knowledge above your age and station.
Isn't that like exactly what Strange did? The M in MCU stands for misogyny.
But yeah, that joke's not gonna age well. I'm sorry.
To my power.
And a Catherine Hahn smirk to remind us why she's always a win, and also reminded me of this laugh.
I would remove a sin for this. I remembered when the meme was, I think it was Andy Samberg in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. His character in Brooklyn Nine-Nine was like, Jamie's like, yeah, I can enjoy this song. And right when the lyric is, and I killed Sparky too, it cuts to, you monster. I wouldn't be surprised. I will say, in my opinion, I quite enjoy Catherine Hahn's performance here as Agatha Harkness. It's more Cruella de Vil than the recent Cruella movie. I enjoyed it. Let's go.
I mean, she tried to warn you.
Look at this.
control it.
Cool
This
crown.
long.
You're gonna die though.
That accent really comes and goes.
Come on, everyone. I like this joke as much as the next guy.
What happened to your accent?
What happened to yours?
But people's accents do change over time, either by choice or immersion, especially when they're based on fake
True.
countries and languages.
Nothing?
Everyone's accent changes. I think I've heard that Christopher Nolan and Jonathan Nolan remembered. I think they were mostly raised in Chicago, and I think whereas Chris Nolan went to college in the UK, Jonathan Nolan went to college in around the US, and so he decided to adopt an American accent, kind of sound like that cool Chicago kid. You can kind of hear some slips of the accent, but Jonathan Nolan mostly speaks with the American accent. I've noticed it in interviews. That's not to say anything. I love anything from Nolan's, especially Jonathan Nolan. He's a really talented guy. Like, I really love Westworld. Can't wait for season 4.
These are runes, Wanda.
You may know about some spells, but clearly you haven't learned not to do villain monologues yet.
I got close with
You sly dog. You got me monologuing. Sorry I had to say that.
Fietro.
Intro, if you will.
Oh, I
Yeah.
will. I mean, I stole that while forgetting you ever said it, although I prefer Fiake.
No, Fietro was better. I'm sorry, man.
But you're so
Fietro.
crippled by your own self-doubt that you believed it.
You can call that a lampshade if you want, something in the text itself used to
I've
explain
actually
away
seen
a
this
hard-to-explain
episode 3
plot
times,
point,
so-
But it's pretty much what the show is about, that Wanda's grief is so strong she shut herself off from reality.
Literally.
Years of study to achieve even the smallest convincing illusion.
You're even running illusions miles away at the edge of town. Magic on autopilot.
So we're finally getting Agatha's reason for being in Wanda's show, and I love that the primary reason seems to be jealousy.
Yeah.
Do you not know the fundamentals?
Power.
Who are you? Who are you? What's your secret, sister?
We're so used to audience signal type tropes, the ones that are there to make sure the viewer knows explicitly what's going on, that when they don't happen, I just about jump up and cheer. This one being that Wanda didn't flinch from having her hair pulled. She's got more pressing things on her mind.
I bet they must have done a million takes of that.
Sometimes the Latin spells are super easy to translate, like in this case, repeat or recall memory.
But it's time to look at some real reruns.
Ah, you're still playing to the audience, aren't you, Agatha? You old scamp.
English, Papa!
He's loud, isn't he?
You said
We've entirely left the sitcom reality. The music is somber and reflective.
Yeah.
We're seeing the memory of the
That's
night
why
that
I like
Wanda
the episode
lost
better,
both
is
her
that it-
parents, and Agatha is still cracking one-liners waiting for audience laughter.
Love the Cold War aesthetic.
Wanda!
I mean, we're right here.
That's a fantastic transition. Agatha making Wanda actually relive the events rather than just view them.
Fun shenanigans.
What the shenanigan again? Shenanigan.
Oh, the walnut episode.
You mean shenanigans? Oh, shenanigans, right?
In hindsight, at least Wanda
Super
didn't
Troopers.
materialize Dick Van Dyke into Westview, so there's that. There was always
You remember hearing about that? I remember hearing about Dick Van Dyke serving as a consultant on the first 2 episodes. Because, for like the first 2 episodes, they were trying to emulate the feel of like Bewitched and the Dick Van Dyke Show and I Love Lucy, I Dream of Jeannie. Right here, like, look at all these. Like, Who's the Boss? Addams Family, I Dream of Jeannie, I Love Lucy, Bewitched, Malcolm in the Middle.
a Nurse Betty undercurrent to this show, but this really nails it home. It was just a little delayed.
The only way forward is back.
Did Agatha
True.
write Endgame? It's funny how they had
Oh,
no idea
God,
when they put a
no.
mind control rock in Loki's scepter that it would eventually become the Mind Stone. And yet, it's believable that Thanos would have hidden its true nature and color so no one would realize what it was. This is definitely Wanda for the record.
Yeah.
So Wanda had some editing practice way back even before Age of Ultron. Hey, Bryan Cranston is always a win.
Yeah.
obviously.
I remember that episode. I think it's.
Is grief. If not,
Oh no, I remember this. I remembered on a interview on Good Morning America that Paul Bettany actually acknowledged this. This became a meme everywhere. I think it was one Paul Bettany acknowledged, and he said specifically that it was trying to explain to a vegetarian what is beef if not persevering, or what is Doctor Strange 2 if not WandaVision persevering. Oh god. The internet just went crazy with these memes. I tell you what, I've seen shit that'll turn you white.
love, persevering.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
What's unfortunate about it going viral on Twitter for someone liking it in just the wrong way so that everyone else decides it wasn't worthy of praise is that while the line alone is great, it's important to remember who was saying it and why. Vision has essentially reworded better to have loved and lost
than never to have loved at all.
because that's Vision's reality.
Yeah.
So he looks at someone
That's,
mourning loss and is almost
yeah,
jealous.
what is grief if
And
not
to be
love
fair, this is
persevering?
Vision's intellectual analysis of something he can't understand. It wasn't meant to be profound, which makes it all the more meaningful, especially to
That's
Wanda,
true.
who lost the greatest connection she had in her life, making Vision's frank desire to comfort and understand her a very believable start to their relationship.
Mhm.
And even Agatha is touched.
When I came back, he was gone. His body.
Right, because she dusted while kneeling over his body, so she was brought back an instant later and he'd been taken away.
Not
Yeah. This is actually what I was talking.
everyone has the kind of power that could bring their soulmate back online.
That's not why I'm here.
Now we realize that this was always Hayward's plan. I think he even intended to plant the idea in Wanda's mind. She hadn't even considered it yet.
Yeah, it's what I was talking about in the last one, where Hayward's kind of plans and motivations are kind of a mirror and illusion, to what, all the bad stuff that J. Edgar Hoover did during his tenure as director of the FBI. Because, like I said, J. Edgar Hoover did a lot of terrible things. Like, he ordered the hit on Fred Hampton. Probably ordered the hit on, he did definitely order the hit on Malcolm X. Why am I talking? And also Martin Luther King. I know your secrets, FBI. I've been watching you for a very long time. I'm kidding. I don't really try to look up the government. I try to stay away from the government as much as possible. This moment, though, broke me. I've seen this episode 3 times, and I always tear up. Like, Girl Olden V. This moment was so good. Oh, man, I cried just seeing that, and it shows how much people. I don't know why people bag on these last 2 episodes. Like, these last 2 episodes, they kind of come back to the whole point of why Wanda's doing this, is because Wanda has lost everyone closer to her. She's lost everyone. She's lost her parents. She lost her brother. And more importantly, she lost vision. And, Hayward did not want to bring back vision. Said, no, we're not giving you vision. Maybe we can use her power to bring him back online. And ultimately, some people will often view certain people, which is, which I know people will say, like, there's a line Monica says, they will never forget they will never know what you sacrificed. And she said, it won't change how they see me. I feel like people are idiots nowadays because, it's just, so yeah, they did some bad stuff, but they still, they had a lot to lose if you think about it. No matter regardless of the bad stuff that they did, like Wanda controlling the town here, you know, she did it for good intention. She just wanted Vision back. It's kind of like Tony Soprano and his motivations. No matter all the bad things he did it because, well, obviously he's the boss and he's trying to survive. He's probably doing it for good intention. And this is because I've been spending ever since February watching The Sopranos. I'm not on. See, that's what you learn when watching The Sopranos for the last 5 months. You start to learn Italian slang through characters like Tony and Paulie, and no, mostly Paulie who says that. I'm not on. But yeah, whole point is, you know, she has justifiable motivations for doing what she does, like holding an entire town hostage. But yeah, it's kind of like people saying the FBI were heroes. When in fact, like I mentioned, no, J. Edgar Hoover did a lot of terrible stuff. And the fact that the FBI will never wake up and remove his name off the building is sad because it proves how they don't care. The FBI say they fight for our. The government agencies are always going to say they fight to protect the country. That is bullshit. They fight to protect themselves. All right, I know because I am a pure, born and bred American, despite the fact that my parents were from Brazil. Point is, I have more of a love for America than government agencies. Or the president, for that
First
matter.
name the, last name Vision.
Yeah. This moment.
And maybe that wasn't the most satisfying explanation, especially for those of you expecting Mephisto.
I don't really care about theories. I hate theories. I'm gonna say
At
that.
the heart of all this, but knowing that the theme of the show is grief.
Yeah.
This is the only way it could
have
happened.
That is true.
And it's really cool to look at. But even if they had written it as in her grief, she made some deal with Mephisto, it would have sucked the palpable pain out of this moment.
That's what I was saying. Fan theories, people latch on to fan theories, and it takes the enjoyment out of everything. Right? I don't care about fan theories. I just want. And yeah, the 5 stages of grief. She's going through grief. She's done this in grief. Sometimes audience members, I feel like they're just childish at times, and they refuse to grow up. All right, look, I get it. I know what it's like to be denied fan theories. All right, I've seen The Last Jedi. Right, I know what it's like to be disappointed in anticipating something and end up getting another thing. Here's the thing. This is Marvel. And Marvel at this point is good enough at subverting expectations, unlike Star Wars Last Jedi, which was subversion for subversion's sake. And I know you're going down the comments saying, ooh, Last Jedi's a masterpiece. You don't know what you're talking about. Shut up. If I don't like The Last Jedi, I did not like The Last Jedi. You don't need to throw shit at me just because I didn't like a movie you liked. Alright? I don't like Iron Man 3. I think Iron Man 3 is the worst movie of the MCU because that was a movie that was literally subversion for subversion's sake. In fact, ever since that movie came out, Marvel has severely apologized for that movie. Like, they literally made All Hail the King, which is a good short film, as an apology for Iron Man 3. Age of Ultron. They barely acknowledge Iron Man 3. Civil War. The only time they ever acknowledge Iron Man 3 was briefly in Civil War, but I would say if you do watch the MCU, Iron Man 3 watch is not required, because I went into that movie with great anticipation. Alright, believe me. I was expecting something from Iron Man 3, something I thought I was gonna get from the trailers. That when I saw Iron Man 3, I was like, huh. Because someone had spoiled that Aldrich Killian was the Mandarin. I'm like, oh, that's a fake spoiler. They're not gonna. And then one of my cousins was, oh, so you're in on the joke. And the way they handled the Mandarin, I was like, what? Like, they legit cast Sir Ben Kingsley, one of the greatest actors of our time, who won an Oscar for playing Gandhi, nonetheless, and they wasted him. Alright? You don't understand. No one understands. Alright? I know people think Iron Man 3 is better than Iron Man 2, but, then again, those people smoked pot to see Iron Man 3, and unlike most people, I don't smoke, and I never plan on smoking, because I'm trying to keep my lungs till 100, alright? Alright, back to the video.
Moment. Just in general, there's a very fun behind the scenes.
Yeah, this was a really fun coloring scheme here.
This entire sequence, but I love that it's necessary within the narrative.
Yeah.
Everything else has been Wanda's origin, which is where Agatha expected to learn how she did it, but the truth that Agatha had been hoping wasn't the truth, is all revealed right here.
You're supposed to be a myth, a being capable of spontaneous creation. But that makes you
The Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, it's always a win when they finally give
Yeah.
someone their hero name.
I'm finally glad they gave.
Previously on WandaVision.
Alright, now that we're at the last episode, I figured I'd line up all the previously on WandaVision, since Wanda sounded a little more sullen than I remember, and...
Previously on WandaVision. Previously on WandaVision.
Previously on WandaVision. Previously on WandaVision. Previously on WandaVision. Previously on WandaVision. Previously on WandaVision.
Yep, she's been getting progressively
Yeah.
more annoyed and depressed as the episodes have gone on.
Yeah.
Reading that line would get tiring.
That would be very tiring. Imagine that.
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch frames intercut into the recap.
What do you say?
I say car! And that maybe you've dealt with other witches, but never an Avenger who's fought in an airport against other Avengers while breaking the Honda Accord. And that's what we call a callback. Quick, grab the boots, they're probably magic.
Wanda.
Talk about being blinded by love. She didn't bother reading his mind, or listening to his sinister robotic voice, or looking at his ugly scowl, or his white skin. What casing? The power of love.
It's a curious thing. Make a one man weep, make another man sing. Change a hawk to a little white dove. More than a feeling, that's the power of love. Huey Lewis in the news.
But hey now, you'd like to think that not even blank Vision would start Nolaning out. See that? Spoilers avoided, no sweat. Fake Vision to the rescue. Fission.
Hey look,
Vision.
we inserted some Man of Steel in this
Badass
movie.
bad guy? T2 moment at least.
You must be
Yeah.
destroyed.
Everyone goes right for the stone, which really makes you wonder why Vision didn't do that with Thanos. Oh, wait, that was the entire reason they nerfed him with this blade, wasn't it? Hey, another one of those times that I went back to watch this scene and then watched all of Infinity War instead, most of Civil War. This job is hard.
If only you had a little more vision.
That's a good one, Hayward.
Ah, because Hayward does have vision. Of course,
Yeah.
Jimmy would like that one. Credit where credit is due.
He's like,
Did you
good
know
one.
there's an entire chapter devoted to you in the Darkhold? That's the Book of the Damned.
Darkhold lessons.
Your power exceeds that of the Sorcerer Supreme.
I feel like Strange would have something to say about that, but for the record, just like Feige said, leaving Strange out of this made perfect sense. It would have taken away from the theme and could have made it feel like an ad for Multiverse of Madness.
I mean, the whole series is essentially gonna lead into the Multiverse of Madness, so I think probably putting Strange in there would not have worked. But hey, haters unfortunately are gonna hate, so.
She could be friends with your boys. If you like that storyline, really anything, if you could just let her out of her room.
Your grief is poisoning us.
Oof, Wanda finally gets to hear about the consequences of her magic, an all too familiar situation that makes this response totally in line. And it's a pretty good representation of what Wanda has been doing all along and how little she knew about it.
That is true.
That's such a loaded question.
Steven, dude, I'm sorry, Van Damme. Van Damme has made better films, alright? Seagal can't even do stunts right. Seagal can't do stunts right? Say Van Damme, because Van Damme at least does his stunts for real. I'll name better, name one good movie Van Damme. Okay, I'll name two movies that Steven Seagal was in that were actually pretty damn good. the first Under Siege movie, and Executive Decision. Those are the only 2 movies. Van Damme has done better movies. Expendables 2, Time Cop, Hard Target, Sudden Death, Bloodsport. The list goes on and on. Oh, JCVD as well. Yeah, 6 movies. There, I've named at least 6 good movies from Van Damme. Alright? No one likes Seagal. That's the pure truth. So, this guy has poor taste. Also, now I'm thirsty. I want a Gatorade bottle.
But mostly yes, obviously.
I'm disappointed.
Ralph Boner?
Perfect encapsulation of the audience reaction.
My husband's on a business.
Yeah.
Tell him I love him. Not to come back here.
Dark.
We have your nightmares.
Dark.
If you won't let us go,
Everyone's dark.
just let us die.
And dark.
God damn, that
Agatha's
is.
trying to send her back to episode 1.
But I'm not the true Vision. Only a conditional vision.
Conditional vision. While I'm glad we got a little pew-pew vision laser v laser, I love that we end their conflict with a thought experiment because of course they would. And I can't blame Paul Bettany for saying he was excited to act across from himself. The visions really kill the whole who's a vision, you a vision ship of Theseus discussion.
Neither is the true ship. Both are the true ship.
Learning new skills. Not the
Hold on. Sorry, because it always slows down.
Both are the true ship.
Learning new skills. Not the last one either.
Nice tricks. I like yours too.
Compliments all around. And I realize Hayward gets a little mustache twirly here, but the more I think about it, this was always him. I'm not taking the blame off of...
That is true. It's what I was saying. He's essentially, J. Edgar Hoover. Although not as maybe as racist and as misogynistic.
Wanda completely, but he specifically uses object pronouns about Vision, talks about how much Vision's body is worth to the government, plants the idea in her head that she can resurrect him and then lets her see his dismembered body, possibly with the hope that she'd zap him back to life right there. He has no concern for anyone else. He's even willing to murder children because none of it is real to him, clearly. Dude needs to watch The Measure of a Man. At least day to day.
Comeuppance.
Darcy to the rescue.
I am Vision.
You get your memories back, you lose the robo voice, and you get real looking eyes. Fair enough. This is what we call a fake out crown to make you think this is as far as they'll go with it. Silly you. Really can't overstate how well Catherine witches it up.
This world you made will always be broken, just like you.
Cold as ice.
Remember when Jeremy Johns poked that's like, wait, how did she make the runes? And I thought that too, but then when I went back and saw this episode, I was seeing how she kept throwing some of the magic at Agatha, whereas and she would still cast the runes within the hex. And I'm like, oh, because they're clearly going for the Big Hero 6 moment here, like the end of Big Hero 6, where the villain, is like, this ends now. He's all out of nanobots. And, yeah, essentially what the moment is. But I like, in second viewing, you see that she had cast the runes while still throwing. And, essentially was, how Wanda started learning more. It's proof that people say they pay attention. Of course, no one pays attention. Just me, really. Probably says a lot about me and why I don't.
Such a fun reveal, using the clouds as cover, even if you saw it coming. Can't lie, it's a pretty badass good for now girl move. And I love how her runes are played off as violent
Anti-hero.
lost control mistakes when they were purposeful blasts.
But
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
To tell me who I am.
Heck yeah. Even if she's technically a villain, sometimes you're over the
At least a villain whose motivations we can
Have to
understand.
appreciate that she can even magic curl her hair, and her magic costume design is on point.
Please.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, you're not. You're cruel.
Well, but if you're feeling a little bad, just remember this gem.
Broken, just like you.
I know where to find you.
Wait.
And I do not hate that the door is staying open to more Agatha. One last time, we need to acknowledge how Catherine Hahn went from in-universe nosy neighbor, adapting to each decade in style perfectly, and it was all an act for her character, to then totally earnest witch during her episode as Agatha, then to scenery-chewing witch in her battle with Wanda, but never losing her sincerity, and then all the way back to...
Okie dokie, artichoke.
So, who pays for the car removal?
A family is
This moment really got me as
This
well.
isn't actually something I can even really comment
Yeah.
on. For real, this is on par with some of the most depressing things.
Too damn depressing.
Yeah, that's it. It's too sad. Acceptance. It can be the most painful stage of grief because Wanda needs to finally confront her sorrow.
That is the
She's
worst
no
part
longer
of
bargaining
grief.
to stay in
The most
denial.
painful
She
part
has
is
to let
acceptance.
go, and nothing ever makes that any easier.
But mostly you're my love.
These two know each other so well, she doesn't have to literally quote him so that he'll understand what she's saying. But it doesn't make it any less of a callback to the words he used to comfort her so many years ago. Vision cried in one of his very first appearances in the comic.
This is why I enjoy this episode more than most people, because they literally made me cry over an android. A dead android at best. I don't think anyone's cried over a dead android since Data, but the fact that Vision tears up here is a very sincere moment. And yeah, it says here, you know, his first tear in the MCU, it's like Vision's final journey into becoming human, what it means to be a human. Just a point, I'm 46 minutes in.
After 3 movies and 1 entire season of this, I'm glad this is his first year in the MCU.
Yeah.
Who knows what I might be next?
We'll say hello again.
Optimism. Well, that was a silly dream. Time to go find out about mutants and stop them from existing.
Where's Darcy?
Something about debriefs are for the week.
Ha. Weird.
Well, no, she's been off to be in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Second Blade Runner reference in a...
Let's see, Tannhauser. Hold on. Yeah.
Bro. And it's from the same Roy Batty speech. Who could blame literally anyone?
He'd like to meet with you.
Where?
Talos.
Sam Jackson in space? Sounds great. Love the fake out that she's just secluded away so that she can't hurt anyone, to then reveal she's poring over the evilest book ever, trying to Pet Sematary her kids back. Strange's score doesn't do her any favors either. For a show that started out confusing and even goofy at times, WandaVision really nailed its theme at the end. It's impressive when you consider how they made Wanda's sitcom reality such an obvious coping mechanism for her. Everything in her life was too real, with too many consequences and continual loss. So why not bring in some shenanigans? Why not have the day reset every morning with no stakes, no chance she could lose Vision again? It's genius, really. And they baited us along the whole time. Is it being done to her? Is she trapped? Is she the victim? Or is she evil? Is she doing it on purpose? And she even displays anger that puts it all into question. But as we see her reality unraveling, we can feel her grasping to keep it all together. It's about as relatable as chaos magic beings can be. This isn't the first time Wanda and Vision have had to say goodbye, but it's definitely the send-off they deserved. You know, if they can't just be together. WandaVision is a showcase of how we deal with grief. Even if it got a little marvelly at the end, the real...
Well, it's Marvel. They can't go too far off brand.
The actual conflict we end the show with was Wanda coming to terms with the final stage of grief, acceptance. And it wasn't easy. It's not neat and clean. It's terrible. Maybe the writers felt like they needed to end on the glimmer of hope that her kids could come back, or maybe Wanda is willing to do anything to bring her family back together because, yeah, that's how grief works. Just because we accept loss and try to grow past it doesn't mean we don't backslide. It doesn't mean we stop trying to cope. And the truth is that it was her grief over Vision that made her create the Hex in the first place, and she did let him go. Even with the way WandaVision ended, there are clearly infinite possibilities for a second season, even under a new name, just as the continuing story of Wanda and Vision trying to find their way back to each other. White Vision is out there now. While Hex Vision technically only unlocked the memories created before the show, that still makes him Wanda's Vision. It's sad that Hex Vision is probably gone forever, at least in this form, but maybe it's for the best since he was a creation of Wanda's grief. Is he even truly an independent person? I don't know. I really appreciate this show. I admire that they stuck with the theme of grief and didn't muddy it with Doctor Strange or even Mephisto. I think there's plenty of room in Wanda's future to delve into all kinds of different things. And I'll
hold on, I'm just gonna pause here. My mom's asking me a few questions. Alright, I'm back. Let's end this video. Sort of.
Either way, we've got Scarlet Witch in the MCU now, and Vision is out there not eating food or whatever. And who knows, maybe the next conditional Vision will eat food. Probably not, but you know who does eat food? These guys. And you know who's often tired of the same thing every week? Also these guys, especially this one. Actually, just getting him to sit down and eat at mealtimes can be a challenge. But that's where today's sponsor, HelloFresh, comes in. He wanted to help cook the meals, so... But they have so many recipes that help us break out of our dinner ruts and remove the need to, like, what,
cook,
make up a recipe or read someone's life story while finding one online? Yeah, no, it's all here on these super easy to follow cards. We just had it on the counter while we were making this HelloFresh meal that they delivered right to our door. Believe it or not, you could get up to 12 free meals delivered to you for free by clicking the link at the top of the description, hellofresh.com, and using code CinemaWins12. We're making the creamy cilantro steak bowls here, and it's so great to have exactly the
cilantro
amount of each ingredient we needed for the meal, no waste. Plus, everything was fresh, easy to prepare and cook, and even with filming us doing all of this, it was still pretty fast, and HelloFresh has quick and easy meals that only take 10 to 20 minutes. Oh, and also it was delicious. Jude ate really fast, like in the time I set up the camera, so that's why it's just Julia and me. But I promise, he was a fan. And actually, when Jude was just born, it was a huge help having meals delivered all ready to go like this, and it's also awesome to not have to make a decision once you're hungry at dinner like we always did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before HelloFresh. So highly recommended for a pregnant woman's hunger, and we're going to be happy to have it with a little girl on the way. So if you want to check it out, go to HelloFresh.com and use code CinemaWins12 to get 12 free meals, including free shipping. Thank you for always supporting my sponsors. It greatly helps the channel. And with that, we're inside a few weeks of Julia's due date, so there won't be a video next week, maybe the week after, but it all depends. But here's a few different ones that are coming up.
Hold on. I want to see if I can pause.
Depends.
The teaser frames. I don't know what this one is. I can't remember for certain. Ryan the Last Dragon, obviously. Not this one. Not even this one I know. Wait, is this Top Gun? That's Top Gun, isn't it? Or no, it's not. It looked like Top Gun based on the planes in the background and the smoke. Maybe it was. Maybe he was gonna do, cause yeah. Depending.
Coming up.
All right. 133. Inspiration from your peers. So yeah, that was kind of fun, and I really got to know. And as far as the teaser frames go, by the way, Ryan the Last Dragon, that one I think I recognized. According to Paul Bettany, as of me writing this comment, his contract hasn't been renewed. I don't really think he's gonna come back. I think Vision's story is already ended enough, and I feel like this series is good enough closure. The most anticipated end to a trilogy since the Star Wars prequels. Yeah, I feel you there. Turn into clowns as they've always been. That was something that CinemaWins forgot to acknowledge, is that when Wanda extends the hex and like the government agents who fall victim, they end up turning into clowns, which is probably poking fun at the government. Yeah, everyone treats the government, says, the government is run by a bunch of clowns. Makes sense. Actually, I'm gonna figure out more stuff here. So yeah, he said, maybe they'll get a second season. I don't know. Hold on, let me type it here. Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4. I always like revisiting this page because I'm always like, okay, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? I'm crazy. I'm crazy, y'all. I'm really crazy. Looks like they're having a lot of producers even on, on Phase 4. Yeah. I'm looking at it here. So, from what I know, WandaVision, that teaser there, I did know that Loki is going to lead in. Yeah, Feige stated the series would tie into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness because the screenwriter for the head writer of the series, Michael Waldron, is actually the screenwriter on Doctor Strange. Yeah, he just finished post production. I remember I was very pissed off when it was announced that Scott Derrickson would no longer direct in the Multiverse of Madness. But I was like, damn it. But then a savior came in the form of Sam Raimi. And I trust Sam Raimi with almost anything now, so well, sort of. Yeah, I'm gonna try and talk lower here. Sorry if you're my mom, I'm sorry. Sorry. I wish I could just turn it off. But yeah, anyway, what I was trying to say before certain interruptions, you know. Hold on, let me just pause here again before I go back to recording. Yeah. Alright, so I'm just gonna finish up here. So yeah, as I was saying, we at least got Sam Raimi directing, which is good news. It's interesting because Sam Raimi, the last movie I remember that he directed was let me look it up here. Yeah, Oz the Great and Powerful, and that came out in March 8th, 2013. So yeah, that practically makes almost 9 years since Raimi has not done a movie. Yeah, because like, yeah, I have complete faith in Sam Raimi. I mean, like, Evil Dead 1 and 2, and Army of Darkness, Darkman, which is a very underrated film. Quick and the Dead, another underrated film. Simple Plan. A lot of those films are these are a lot of underrated films. I think Darkman is an underrated film, and like The Quick and the Dead, Western, Simple Plan for Love of the for Love of the Game. That was another movie. Yeah, Kevin Costner and Kelly Preston. I miss Kelly Preston. It's sad that she's gone. But For Love of the Game is also another good film, and also The Gift. Like, he is very versatile, and I'm glad that certain filmmakers don't try to become stuck. Yeah, I know people are like, but he also did which, if you know the story of Spider-Man 3, because the thing is, I'm thinking maybe with Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, I hope they actually gave Sam Raimi a lot of creative control because, um, from what I know, um, you know, on Spider-Man, the first two Spider-Man movies, you know, Raimi did get creative control, whereas Spider-Man 3, he barely had any creative input, because the studio said, no, Raimi, you did your movies. Now, you did what you wanted, but you got to do what we want. And Raimi was like, oh, fine. Like, apparently his dissatisfaction with, Spider-Man 3 is what caused him to not do 4, which is sad in many ways. So, yeah. Writer Michael Waldron compared Strange to Indiana Jones as a hero who can take a punch, but with the intellect of Chef Anthony Bourdain. I don't know if we should be mentioning Bourdain. Let's see. So yeah, after the events, Dr. Stephen Strange's continuing research on the Time Stone is hindered by a friend-turned enemy, resulting in Strange unleashing unspeakable evil. And if I'm thinking about it, yep, Chiwetel Ejiofor is coming back as Carl Mordo. So that's interesting right there. Yeah. And I don't know if it's been confirmed, but apparently John Matheson is the film's cinematographer. Oh, right here. Uh, Jeff Kline and Julian Hilliard, who portrayed Wanda Maximoff's sons Tommy and Billy respectively in WandaVision, were reported to be on the set. Okay, and looks like Danny Elfman's doing this film, which is interesting. Um, because he did Age of Ultron, but I think that was because Brian Tyler, I remember, was the original composer, and he's still credited in the movie. But Brian Tyler, I think, had had like the scheduling conflict with Furious 7, and so they gave it to Danny Elfman, which I just don't really like the Elfman. I feel like with Danny Elfman, he'll probably get some creative input, especially because he's worked a lot with Sam Raimi over the years. It's where they actually did not work for a while after Spider-Man 2. I think Oz the Great and Powerful is where they returned to go back to working again. Is when they worked together again, and it's actually interesting right here. John Matheson served as cinematographer for the film. If I look it up here, show you here some of the films he shot. Uh, Plunkin and McLean, Gladiator, Hannibal, K-Pax, Matchstick Men, Phantom of the Opera, Kingdom of Heaven, August Rush, Brighton Rock, Robin Hood, X-Men First Class, which actually Ben Sarrazin was the original DP, but um, he ended up getting replaced. But Matheson shot like the whole bulk of the movie. 47 Ronin, Man from Uncle, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, and Logan, and Detective Pikachu. So yeah, that's interesting. So I'm gonna end the video here. I might leave a like on the video, so I'll leave a link to the original video down below, and a link to CinemaWins, because I mean, let's see how many subscribers. Yeah, still 1.83. Needs to get to 2. Hoping he gets 2 million one day. I'll leave a link to his channel down below. And even though I have another video I want to react to, I'll leave that for tomorrow because it's 10:09. And look at this. I have reached an hour. God, I have not been like. Let me look at my channel very quickly. I think my longest video, if I remember correctly, was what was it? What was my longest video? I do know I made a very long ass video. Marvel Studios, Loki, Old, Benedict Society. Yeah, bad movie beatdown of the Love Guru. That one was long. But that was mostly attributed to me pausing and cringing at some of the scenes in the movie. But yeah, I am gonna end it here because, like I said, it's like over an hour. Show you up close if you can see. Actually, can you see it? Yeah, you can. Look, deja vu. It's screening. So I'm in like a simulation inside a simulation inside a simulation. I'm gonna end the video here. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you do subscribe, hit that bell to stay notified. And yeah, good night. Wish you all Godspeed. Take care.